I'm going to be up and at the phone.
We want to go today.
You're having more fun than you can stand. Good thing.
I have no idea. That looks like the week. I don't know.
Can we X out of that?
Somebody's taken over our meeting.
Hackers. This thing,
I can imagine that's not what it looks like based on.
I've done had to do with people, but I don't know.
Anybody recognize that?
No, it's.
Is that over at the fire station?
No.
Mr. Stiles?
It's Mike
Band
Stiles.
Or a band teacher or something? It's got John Lennon quotes on the wall.
And I can hear you guys and see you well.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
But we want to see you too.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I just need to mute this and then we'll mute it. Okay. I guess we're good to go.
Yeah.
He's talking to you. Can't hear.
I see that.
Hey, Lori, whatever
He's
you
just
pushed
not
it,
trying to update.
What'd you say, Bill?
whatever you pushed it, just cut you off for a second.
Are we back?
Well, what you're showing me now is a YouTube of the LaGrange personal town meeting room. So you must have pushed screen sharing.
Okay. Well, I can't even get the Zoom meeting back. Show meeting. There we go. Okay, I do.
You.
I don't want screen sharing. And now what do you see?
Absolutely the same thing I was seeing. It says Town of LaGrange personal meeting room.
Well, that must be one up there in the green corner.
Oh. Okay, yeah, I don't know. Oh, maybe this one stopped. What I
Hey, there you go. It's perfect. Don't push any more buttons.
All right. Okay, sorry about
You're
that.
doing good.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
And a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
And a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Motion approved. Non-departmental joint RDC meeting. Mark, what you got for us?
We received one bid from the publication for the sale of the 9 and 20, so I will open that and see what we have. Bid is from, I believe I'm pronouncing this right, Hedus Estates. The bid is in the amount of $372,000. And that is the only bid that we received. This is the person that wants to bring the Dairy Queen that we saw the presentation from earlier. The advertising and bid spec did have something in there about, also letting us know what was going to happen in the timeline. And I think we've established that. So I guess as president of the RDC board, I would entertain a motion from the RDC board to accept this bid, for the property and to make a positive recommendation to the town council that they confirm, that acceptance and we move
So moved.
forward with this, with the
Yeah.
sale.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Based upon that, Ray, to you, I guess the RDC board would make a favorable recommendation to the town board that, they affirm the sale of the property, for the $372,000 bid, and that we move forward with executing the necessary documents and arranging for, Lakeland Title to prepare the title work for the sale.
Okay, so, we have, I need a
I'll
motion.
make a motion.
I'll second.
So we got a motion and a second, to sell our downtown property at 9 and 20 for $372,000 for, and I can't even pronounce his name, so I'm not even gonna try. For the,
Any mistake?
Dairy Queen.
Todd, there you go. That
Ah,
would be the
okay.
deal.
So, is there any further discussion on board? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you so much. Thanks for your bid. Thanks for all your work on that and for choosing us to put this in. I think it'll be a boon for the town, so.
Excited. Thank you for that.
Can you have it up in a couple days so we
I was
can
gonna
start
say, are
getting
you
some
gonna
Brazer
start-
burgers?
You're gonna start tomorrow?
Next weekend, sounds like I went. Good deal.
That's it. You have anything you wanted to discuss at all about that?
We need to sign some documents,
Okay,
updated dates. So it's over. and
Okay.
we're-
but that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I can send for you. Yep, absolutely.
Okay, Lori, you got anything for us tonight?
I just wondered if I sent everyone a copy of the town's annual financial report, so I wondered if anyone had any questions. It's a big document.
On page 52,
Okay.
I've seen,
Oh, there is, yeah, 52.
no, I'm pleased, well pleased, excellent job. Anybody else have anything?
I thought she did awesome with that.
It's a lot of work, but I have a lot of help with the software and we got it done. I think
Do we
it'll take
need,
more time.
Vote to approve your
Probably
financial?
wouldn't.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve her, what is it called,
Your annual financial report.
financial report.
Second.
We got a motion and a second to accept the town's 2024 annual financial report. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
The other thing I have is already put it in the report, but we've been working on getting some edits made to the new website. They reconfigured it a little bit for to do the town of LaGrange.in. And we needed to tweak some things that had been updated on the old one for a while. So once that's done, I can approve it. Mark and I will both look through it and approve it, and then it will go live. And I think it's gonna be a really good change. I've got the link from American Legal. So we can put that right on our website. Someone can click that link and it takes you to American Legal's website, and then you can search our code book, ordinance code, you can we were playing with it. So we typed dog in it and all the ordinances that have to do with the dog. Any dog mentioned in all of our code comes right up. So I think that'll be really useful for people.
Now,
I'll be happy to get that up.
those ordinances are old ordinances. They're not the new ones that company did that we never approved.
We went through all of those and tweaked them and sent those in. So if you want to look through it and make sure they're right. There is one on there when we were looking at the dog ordinances that says the town clerk will, if there's a complaint about a vicious animal, then I'm going to give them a tag and they have to keep it tagged. I don't have any tags. I didn't even know I was supposed to be doing that. So,
That's what makes me wonder if that's not that because we hired a company to go through all of our ordinances, but it was never approved.
oh,
We-
well, yeah, we did. And we had a whole bunch of them that we redid, edited and repassed and sent it back in. And then I thought, didn't we mark that?
Yeah, because
There
there
was
was
some-
like a wraparound ordinance to amend several of those. And we listed like page and sections or whatever, and then that got approved and we sent it back and they made some modifications. But yeah, the book is the current approved ordinances for the town.
There just might be a couple things like that tag thing for vicious animals that we might want to look at, or we might want to make sure that I get some tags. I don't know what. the
And it can
criteria
be-
for that
I mean, if there's things that aren't there that we feel, or the board feels that should be there, then they can certainly be added. Probably either we'll have to come up with the older ordinance or have Bill, recreate that ordinance so that it can be approved and then sent to them.
Because that was one of the problems that they had. They gutted a lot of the ordinances that we had because they didn't feel that they needed them. And that's not.
I remember that, but I thought that we addressed it already.
Some of it, I think, yeah,
Maybe
maybe not
Bill
all.
remember. Bill, do you remember?
Remember.
I only remember going through and writing a whole bunch of them over. I can't tell you that there was any that we didn't address. I felt like we did a good job of picking them out.
Well,
And
one-
as for that mad dog tag, I'm gonna look back at my ordinances, but I'm really pretty sure that's the way we wrote it. That it has many things in town that was written years and years and years ago for one animal in particular.
I can send everyone the link. You can access that link anytime. So if you want me to send that to you, you can search through it and see if there's something.
Yeah,
there.
please do. I'd be happy to go through it also.
Yeah, I'd like to go through it and see, because a lot of it dealt with ordinances that the police department was taking care of, parking, yards, all different kinds of stuff that they went in there and just axed all those out of there. And that's why I felt that we never approved that, because we had sent that back to get it straightened around and it had just laid there. I don't remember ever doing a vote, and I don't know that I have ever missed a meeting. And,
I'll tell you what, I'll get the link.
Oh,
You can look at
okay,
it,
I'll
and
look at it.
tomorrow I'll look and see if I can find the ordinance that I'm thinking of that address that. We'll have it for you next.
all right, sounds good.
That's about all I've got.
Anybody have anything for Lori that she needs to address? Do we want to talk about the
Oh, the
banner?
banners, yeah, we already made our meeting late. Carol and I were talking banners. My plan, I gave everyone a little packet of different options for banners. I didn't get prices, but I wanted to run by the idea of doing spring and then patriotic for the summer, fall and winter instead of Christmas. So that the guys are only changing them 4 times a year. So I have some options. If you want to look through those and feel strongly about certain ones, send me an email and we'll figure out, but I think we're gonna order, once I find out the price, I'll get a couple different places and bring it next time, and then we'll order patriotic ones for the summer, and then the next round we'll order for fall, so.
Always food for thought. Lori has ordered banners for us now for 87 years. And has always done an excellent job on picking out stuff that, matches the town, stuff like that. So
I sure trust her judgment.
you guys take a look at them, and if you've got any really strong feelings about something, why, let her know. If not, I'd say, once we find out the price and can agree on that, to let her pick out what she wants. It's just,
I say, yeah,
The point is to make it look welcoming and
yes,
group things up. I decided that, well, I thought that since Main Street's really decorating for Christmas, we could just stick to winter theme on the banners. They did a good job.
there was a banner in there that, we're gonna look at that, deals with our concerts, our second Saturday concerts, that see if we can find some places around the park to, put them up so that, people can drive down through there and see when the next
that'd be
concert's
great.
gonna be, go with that, so. Okay. Mark, do you have anything for us tonight, other than what was in your report?
Not a whole lot, just finishing one project up and starting a tower project. About it. And I said we were gonna be shutting the tower off today. They decided to wait a couple weeks. So still have it on for a couple of weeks yet.
Well, I think it's really early to be shutting stuff down, but maybe not. I don't know.
It's one of those things where you wait and then you'll end up having more high use and wish you'd done it when it was colder. So it's no good time to shut your tower off.
That is true. That is true. Okay. We're past Valentine's Day fires, so. Sue, you have anything for us?
Document that needs a signature. For the report.
My ink pen is
Storm
broken.
water. Well, then I guess you might have to go to prison, so.
Ooh. I've told you before, I don't go by my phone. Oh, this is for your,
Yeah, I think Mark sent it out to you
yes,
guys.
he did.
We had turned it into items so I can report stormwater.
I did look at that on the page ahead.
Net fee bond, stormwater.
Our stormwater agreement. Well, thank you for taking this on. I worked with some of this up on the toll road. And they did a good job.
Well, I haven't done it yet, so I'll. let you know how it goes. Thank you.
Thank you. Did anybody have anything for Sue? Street Department.
I just really have
Anything?
just the report.
Anybody have a chance to look at John's report? Because they're busier than busy. They work with about every department in the town of LaGrange. I don't know how they get everything done. Still keep us looking nice, so. Anybody else have anything? Well, thanks for all your service and all your work, guys.
No, thank you.
All right. Have a good night.
You too. Cemetery. Amber, is that right?
They have been busy
Okay,
too.
you're covering for Amber.
Yeah, really the only thing we have, and I sent you guys some numbers, is trying to replace their UTV with a new one. I gave you, quotes and numbers, and like I had said in what I sent you, basically, the John Deere model was the only one, that allowed us to stay, in the V plow. It was the only quote we were able to get locally, has the largest capacity. It was the only one of the UTVs, that came with a warranty. It's, 36 months or 600 hours. Like I said, the V blade is a big piece of it for, we use that UTV to plow the narrow, roads and stuff in the cemetery. They use it all summer long. For the other, we had continued to have problems with the current one. So in talking with Amber, kind of the thought and the plan was, we had budgeted for, and normally we roll out a new mower every year, that we purchase, and the mowers, the last one that we purchased last year was a little over 16,000. So this year, I think with 5 of them in stock, we can not do that. We'll reapply that money plus some money she's got in some other areas to come up with the, basically the $29,812.03. John Deere also was the only one that had any interest in taking the old unit as a trade, so that number reflects them allowing roughly $10,000 in a trade-in for the 18 unit. We paid a little over 20 for it when we bought it in 18, so it's probably at least half of its lifespan. So I think the trade-in value is reasonable based off the condition of the machine and, like I said, some of the issues that we've had. Again, it's a piece of machinery that they use pretty much year round, every day. So
Is the Gator a hard top?
yeah, the John Deere is a hard top. It will have heat as well for when they use it in the winter and defrost and stuff. It's got wipers. It'll have safety lighting on it. And again, they use it for that. And part of the reason with the payload that we want the heavier payload is they also use this in some of the tight spaces, digging some of the graves to move the dirt. I would say that the second option would have been one of the one of the Kubota models. The issue with the Kubota model that somewhat concerned me is the payload on those is only 600 pounds compared to 1,000 with the John Deere, and it has the largest bed. And we had a Gravely prior to this one, and kind of that same scenario. My fear is that because of the size of the bed, we'll wind up overloading it, and then we'll be right back where we are somewhat with this one with transmission type issues continuing to go on. So this seems to be the best suited for what they need to do and use.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion to move forward with Green Mark equipment for $29,812.03.
Okay. Got a motion and a second for a Gator XUV 845R for $29,812.03 from Green Mark Equipment. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Anything else from out there? How's our barn coming along?
Kind of, I mean, at this point, weather is not allowed and to pour the floor or any of that. So we're kind of where I thought we were going to wind up with it, to be completely honest. We're probably kind of at a stalemate till spring, and they can get the floor poured in, and then we can finish up the wiring and
68 degrees next Friday.
yeah. I did
One
the
day.
caveat will be is if the ground inside that building.
That's what's gonna happen Saturday.
froze. Yeah, yeah. So, like I said, I think I would say at this point, we're 70% probably. It's just basically the concrete work and some other finish up on it with the doors and some of that stuff, and then getting the electric put in.
All right, thank you. Anything else? Anybody have anything else? Park Department,
Nothing for the park today.
Police Department. Rich sent out his report. Hopefully you all had a chance to look through it. Some stuff's up a lot, some stuff is down a lot too. It all depends on what instance it is. So dog bites were down 100%, I think it was. There was other things, so it's a very interesting report. That is all available to everybody. So. Mark, you have anything?
Just a couple. Did I put on here? Mark and I both met with Clear Creek Coating today. They should be starting on the water tower, so that's underway. I did hire Chad Becker to fill our opening from James leaving with the street department. He'll start March 17th. I did have a phone call with NDOT regarding our community crossing grant. Still haven't got the official notice, but do think that's coming. Holly was up at our meeting today, and while she was here, she also drove and went over the streets. So we're trying to get that as ready as quickly as we can. I think NDOT's concern, and rightfully so, is there's a lot of change and stuff going on downstate in those changes there. And I think part of the reason that NDOT wants to take this back to the old way is the only way to assure that money is protected is to get those awards made and get that money transferred to the cities and towns and counties so that they don't decide to pull that back in and it's gone. I do like this approach better. The other way did have risk because you would have locked into a contract with a contractor prior to having those funds. And if they pulled the funds, that could have been a real problem for us. The other one I did receive a request from the Courthouse Classic Road Race Group again. They'd like to do their annual race and close Spring and Michigan Street on Saturday, June 21st from 6 to 11. They've done that for multiple years. I think the only somewhat conflict, but they've worked it out the last several years, is I think we'll have the farmers market going at that time as well, but they've been able to work together the last 2 or 3 years with that without an issue. So we'd just be looking for an approval to close the streets for the event.
I make the motion to close the streets for the Courthouse Classic Road Race on June 21st from 6 to 11 a.m.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to close Spring Street, Michigan Street from High Street to Detroit Street from 6 to 11 on Saturday, June 21st, 2025. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I guess I have I guess at least a comment or a question regarding some discussion we had earlier with the old tattoo shop uptown and the quote that Mr. Glegg is already obtained for that. I don't believe there's any way to get additional quotes that are going to be under that quote. And I think to attempt to do that means I'm going to waste my time and potentially offend a contractor that we may need in the future because nobody's going to come close to that number. Statutorily, there's nothing that says that we have to do that. I think the best way to get this done, and knowing that the gentleman he's got that wants to tear that down wants to do that now in his off season before he starts building homes again, that it would behoove us to move forward with that. Either I or Bill can get with Dustin and figure out exactly how he wants to do that. I think Dustin's looking for the tax write-off or benefit, and the intent is to donate that, get it donated to us so it can get titled to us, and then get with Dan and get the demo started. And in that scenario, once we own it, then we won't have an issue, paying the
I make a motion, we move forward with that deal.
I second.
Got a motion and a second that we move forward with purchase of the old tattoo shop downtown for its destruction and removal. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And then Ray, I guess I have one for you with your involvement with the Legion and why Todd's here tonight. We had talked earlier, and then I had the current gentleman that takes care of that flagpole downtown. And after having a conversation with him, I'm a little confused on whether or not it doesn't appear to me that he has a desire to do that, and whether or not the Legion has a desire for that to remain, or the town has some desire for that to remain and take over, or exactly what we're doing with that. But I know that his timeline moves very swiftly, and I think to be fair to him and and kind of the conversation we had, we're gonna need out of the Legion some answers as to whether or not they would like him to work that into his site plan and try to maintain that, or whether it just simply needs to be removed, or whether they have a different location that they would like to get that and move it to. Because I've heard all of the above.
I have too. I know that when, he presented his site plan, he had the flag
Absolutely.
moved to the north a little ways.
Right.
And they were good with that.
Right.
I hate to speak for the commander and for the American Legion, but I do know that there is another place that has offered to take that flag, but it's not as advantageous as it is right there.
Well, and I think it'll take us, I mean, we're gonna try and move this as quickly as we can for him, but I think there's a bit of a window. But I think if we could have something definitive by at least our next board meeting here in a couple weeks, so that we can let him know, you know, what the intent is. I think that's only
Well,
reasonable.
there again, you know, I've wrestled with that quite a while, being on the board. And, there's a lot of different ideas on who owns that flag and pole and all that stuff like that. So, let me talk to the commander.
The ground that this month, I can tell you definitively who owns it. It would be the redevelopment commission at this point, because prior to that, he had a 99-year consent from National Oil that owned that lot, so that we could insure the pole. But to the best of my knowledge, the pole itself, when we did the research in the past, is owned by the American Legion.
Yeah, that was purchased by Phil Spruer, if I
Right.
remember right,
Right,
and stuck in the air.
right. But I
And,
think
for that 99-year contract, whatever it was. So with this change, I don't know if he would be willing to move it so that all we have to do is bore a hole, pick it up, move it 20 feet, put it back in the ground. Because other than that, it's gonna be very expensive to lower that thing down, break it apart
absolutely.
and take it out of there to someplace else. So, maybe they can work out some kind of a deal with the American Legion. There again, I'm not gonna speak for them. I have no idea what they got,
Possibly you could at least bring that
but I
to
will.
them and
I
and
will.
see if they can.
I will talk to them
provide some
about it, see,
insight.
as soon as I can.
I don't think, I maybe speak for Todd, but I think we've shown it on the site plan and we're okay with moving it or leaving where it exists if it's not in our way. And I think it's gonna be, moving is probably gonna be more expensive than leaving it and building around it. Because it's a pretty good.
Yeah,
size.
I don't know how deep a hole that is. Bill might remember, but, it's deeper than I am tall.
That's what I said, it's
I
probably
mean, that's
easier for us to build around.
Yeah, if,
Than it is to take out and move it. So
if you
we're
could,
okay
it's
with
a
that.
good plus for your establishment. And it's a good plus where it is, because the place that has volunteered to take it is not in downtown LaGrange. It's out. And, we like it right there where all the roads cross, and it's a good thing. And, I would just say that, you know, it'd really be nice if you could just build around it or make that drive a little
I
bit.
promise you that if it's not in the way, it would stay where it's at.
We'll see what we can do. I'll talk to them and see what they have in mind. And if it comes to that, why, well, we'll just have to work with them and see about taking it down and taking it completely out of there. Be nice if we could move it across the street, but
Usually we have for every site we built, we put a flag.
so this is a big flag.
I get it. Yeah.
And I think that, and there again, I'm not gonna speak for them, but they are very adamant about the size of the flag and stuff on there, and they purchased that flag. Cause I write the checks for it.
So they maintain the flag then?
Yes. And they've got guys that come and raise it and lower it when it's supposed to be raised and lowered. I would assume that that would probably stay on, but there again, I can't speak for them. I'm just,
That's the Legion?
yes, LaGrange American Legion, which if you got a good arm, you can throw a stone and hit it right over here, so. But I'll talk to them and see what they, and I'll let Mark know and then he can contact you.
And the only other thing, I think some of you got that did get in the mail today, if anybody's interested, Ames is having another one of their roundtables in Middlebury at the Essen House. It's on Wednesday, April the 9th. If you're interested in going, make sure you let Lori know and we can get people registered. Looks like basically it's going to, we're gonna have representatives there from LTAP, which is the Purdue version that deals with some roads and stuff, so and road funding. So anybody's interested, let them know. I think that's it, unless you have something else for me.
Anybody else have anything from us? Jeremy, good to see you.
I saw him yawning. He
Uh-oh,
must be
that's
keeping.
not a good sign when he brings up paperwork. Okay,
So we have two pumps and we rotate so that we don't overuse one. A few years ago, before I was chief, we put different type of nozzles on there that work better. And recently we had switched trucks and we didn't switch the nozzles like we had been doing. And it really messed the guys up. And I would just like to make all the trucks the same. So
how much is unmessing them gonna cost?
$2,900. That's for 3 nozzles and both the pumps will be the exact same. There won't be any confusion. I have 2 estimates. They equal the same. The third never applied. So
Who are you pushing?
I would just assume use Dingus, which is the same price as MES, and that's only because it's what we've been using. Elkhart Brass is the name of the nozzle, and they did not send a quote. I asked them, they've been recalling them. They're the exact same price, so I guess
You're saying we put like nozzles on one, but not the other, so the other one just,
the operation of the nozzle is different. So we simplified it with one truck,
yeah, you're looking for the other.
and we'd just like to simplify the next truck so that we don't have too much of a problem.
I think you probably got money in your budget.
I make a motion that we move forward and getting nozzles being used.
Second,
Got a motion and a second to purchase nozzles for the fire department from Dingus for
$900.
$2,910. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Right, there's the last company put tax on there, he said with the tax form, they would.
Hmm.
Yeah, there, so it's the only difference in price.
Okay. Good deal.
That's all I have. If there's any question for me.
Anybody have anything?
I did talk to you, a thin computer in that laptop is not worth.
Okay, are they just gonna throw that away? Because it has a program on it to run the doors.
I told them I can get them from British.
You guys need a new computer
They
then?
want a laptop.
With like,
He sent me a link for one that you usually focus in.
very, very early looking right now.
Yeah.
Sure, okay. Because right now we're voting yes on stuff.
That's
Right, tough book, but he doesn't have, that's what he was like.
Oh, tough book, yeah,
I think that we're good.
absolutely. That's what we have. textbooks on this fall, so. yeah.
I'll see what is sent and
Take a
get us a
peek.
quote for them and we'll look at it.
Sounds good.
All right,
Appreciate it.
all right.
Thank you.
Bill, you got anything for us tonight?
I did have conversations again this week with Ryan Ottenweiler. He forwarded me another list of things he disagreed with what Holly said. I have forwarded them to Holly for her reply, and I haven't heard back from Holly yet. So we're still moving down that path.
Have you had a chance to look at your park rules ordinance yet?
No, that is on my agenda to get done well before spring, though. We're still in winter.
Agreed.
I hope you can get it done because I'd hate to have to sit Carolyn on you. She's gonna call you
Oh,
every day.
Carolyn has to meet with me, so she knows.
Oh, see,
She'll
so
be the
that's
one that
where-
knows when it's done. I've got my list that she sent me already, and we got to go through it and make sure we've got everything in there. And if I get a chance though this week, what I'll do, Carolyn, is I might just go ahead and rough something out and send it to you so we got a starting point to talk about.
Perfect. I like that idea.
Okay.
And our retaining wall, where are we at that? Are we gonna have to give up the ghost on that?
No, that's just one that we've got to get life blown back in. There's just been enough fires that getting to that particular one and lighting a fire under it hasn't been anything I was really willing to do right yet.
As long as we're still moving forward.
Oh, I can't say we're moving forward, but we're not stepping backwards.
Well, there you go. Okay, that's good. Anybody have anything else for Bill?
Nope.
Any open discussion this evening? Tim, you got anything? No? Anybody else?
I have something, but
What
I
you got?
don't know if I need to direct it to Mark personally. It's about, we had, an attachment in the water bill that there was, a contaminant in the water.
No, it basically stated, it's horrible because they make us send this out,
Okay,
but we ran our test last year. One of the tests didn't meet the parameters for the lab to test it, and we didn't get notified till January. So that was basically to say we didn't test last year. So we tested for it as soon as we found out that we hadn't, and we didn't have any present in water.
okay,
So the state makes us send those out to scare everybody,
Oh,
essentially. Yeah,
okay,
I know, it's fun.
okay,
That's pretty much the gist of it.
all right.
And you're probably not the first one that's asked.
No,
that.
unfortunately, I had my wife open it. I'm like, what do you think of it? And she's like, that looks horrible. I'm like, it looks horrible. It's really not
Yeah.
the end of the world. It's just happens sometimes and we just didn't get it tested. So we got it tested as soon as we found out. We're good to go.
Okay,
So,
all
like
right.
I said, just unfortunately, we didn't know about it in time
Okay.
to retest for it before we had to send out a notification. So, sorry.
Anything else? Anybody else have anything?
Sure.
Whatever happened with the fluoride deal?
No.
Is that, is fluoride still getting put in the water or?
Yes. As far as I know, that's a federal health thing that's been talked about, but it's a community thing that you opt in, you vote for it.
Right.
And if you wouldn't want it in your community, the board would have to vote to opt out of it.
Okay, if we don't want it in the community, what do we have to do
Get the board to,
You'll have to get a petition going.
yeah.
to the residents?
Name and address printed clearly so that we can read.
What percentage of the, because I know some of the people aren't well, so that we have to admit them. Right, right?
Wells where?
Not. in
Are
town.
wells, well,
Not,
you know.
Yeah, not in town.
Not in
Oh,
town.
so we just deal with the town?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't care about the county.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Well,
oh,
it's because they don't get our water, yes, for this purpose.
We
It
love the
doesn't
county.
make any difference
Okay.
because,
So they're aware.
yeah,
of
they
it.
don't get our stuff. Yeah, so it's not. And that's what I meant. I don't care about them. They're on wells. They don't have nothing to do with the town.
They're
So
doing well.
it would have to be, I don't know, what do you think the limit is on that, Bill? 50% of the townspeople, 3/4?
No, I would think if you had a respectable number, let's say you had 25% signing a petition to consider it, then the board could open up a public hearing and consider it. I think you'd want to get, from what I've been following, since I've been following a couple towns on the news where this has been a hot ticket item, and they've had people from the American Dental Association come in and make their presentation, and then they've had people from the "Thou shalt not put anything in my water, my blood, or the end of my needle" come in and testify as to their position. And right now, the problem is AMA, the American Medical Association, isn't making any statements because they can't tell you whether the American Dental is right in saying it's good for your teeth. Well, I guess everybody has assumed that they're right on that. But you also have these tests that indicate it's bad for your brain. So the question is, at what level is fluoridation occurring? And as Mark stated the other day during his little public session, which you did a great job, I'll tell you again at Mark, the fluoridation limits are something that we do test for to make sure that we're nowhere near that, because fluoridation is something that can occur in well water naturally. And so we have to test to make sure we don't have too much fluoride. So what we're putting in is what the American Dental Association has asked for. And the levels that they're saying are necessary to cause brain damage, we're nowhere near. So those are the kind of things that we'd have to talk about at a public hearing. We'd have to get people to come in, and we'd have to have a hearing on the issue and then make a decision intelligently and informed.
I will say, I found in our meeting minutes or whatever, we started in 1968. Florida. And it was over a part per million back then, and now we're at 0.7 is the recommendation. So that's roughly what we keep it.
Well, I know that when we started this water plant 7 years ago or so, whenever it was quite a while back, we talked about that. And I talked to several different dentists around the community, and they were all positive about that. But there again, that's the American Dental Society talking about how kids without dental outside of town, without fluoridation, are having worse teeth. And a lot of that will go back to the Howe military test many, many years ago when they started adding fluoride to Crest toothpaste. And they found fewer cavities and stuff in those kids at Howe military, and they done that for I don't know how many years it was. But that's why Crest came out, where they were the first ones with fluoride in their toothpaste in order to prevent cavities and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different ways you can look at it. Take your teeth and go. If they still clank and they don't fall out, well, it's probably because you've had fluoride in your life. If you can't remember to go, that's another possibility. I don't know. It all depends on who you're going to listen to and stuff. So, and what the facts come out. So. But that's where you got to start. You're going to have to get a survey, and it has to state plainly at the top of that survey what you are asking people to say and sign their name to. Not just hand them a sheet of paper and then tell them later that you're asking them to have a meeting on the amount of fluoride or whether fluoride's needed in the water. However, you're going to state that so that when they're signing up, they know what they're signing their name to. Because in the many years that I've been here, we've had ones come in, and then the people found out, well, that's not what I signed up for. That's not what I thought they were passing a petition around for. So the next thing you know, you're crossing names off of there, and now you haven't got your quarters. So just food for thought for you so that you'll be in compliance and. Did I say that good enough, Bill?
Couldn't have said it any better.
I'm thinking like him, I'm in trouble. All right,
I make a motion to approve the APVs.
A second.
we got a motion and a second to approve the claims. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for your questions.
You.
Appreciate it.
Mark, do you want me to stay on this or what do you want me to do?
What's that?
You want me to stay online or what do you want me to do since I know you got some documents you're gonna be signing?
Wow. Oh, cow. I think the Raptors just readjusted.
Documents that we'll see what they got here.
Sure.
I don't like these, but love a good old text reminder. Oh, yeah, let me do that. But I did. I don't know. I did used to get those and that's how I pretty much managed. Oh, I was definitely paying by, I used to get like, as soon as the bill would come out, I'd get one that was like, your bill's due. It's find this.
No.
I know, I always
Let's see
took
what
me
we
to a
can do.
link.
I'll handle it.
I didn't, and I had to pay $2.65.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Sure.
You wanna talk to Bill about this? I sent these to you again.
If you sign up for this, you don't charge.
Okay, this is why we.
Oh, really? But if you sign up, you auto pay for your invoice.
Right.
They didn't change their credit card information and the card.
Comes out of the proceeds, so I need for you to sign.
I'm glad you guys didn't do
Okay,
that.
Bill, we got, and you've seen that, it's just this FSBO that we basically, you remember that document? You need more
I
than
do,
that?
had the 20,000 in it.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm just looking at these lines there.
Even one of them.
All Bill's gone. There
It's the third.
Well, so how do I, is that different, signing up for text? I don't know if I really care that much, but.
No, that's all I need. What I'll do is I'll give you, if we get everything signed, I can sign by my.
Whatever you say. from out to the
This is the
road, might not.
contingency for the rezone.
Can I do mine online like I do my other bills and stuff with the bank? Or I just put you in as a direct deposit or however that is.
You talk about bill pay?
Yeah.
Yes, but I want to caution you about that, because this month it's going better. Last month, we did, the banks wait for the bank's contract with a bill pay. And you submit it to your bank, but the bank, the contractor waits until it has the bunch of it. and then they'll
So-
send it.
so
Last
this-
month, we got 20 of them, after the due date,
This-
everybody got.
This is an office policy and I talked to Bill, this is the office policy we're going over.
Yeah, Mark and I talked about that.
Oh,
Okay.
you did, okay. And you want to sign it then, or?
I think for $240, we're better off having you save them than me.
Well, you can't.
Yeah, we're gonna sign it, right?
That's for sure.
Yes, sir.
All right.
My wife's got a friend, and it took her 28 days for that bill. And they billed her late fees and everything.
Left this phone, the guy behind me.
Oh, Jeremy Edwards,
Oh, yeah.
thanks.
All right.
Geez, how else do we, I was gonna say, do you have any other way to?
Oh.
So I was like, do you have any other way to get hold of him?
Bill. Jeremy, somebody answer.
He might just be,
I think it's probably go over.
so I
Can I call tomorrow and get signed up on text or have to sign papers and be in?
You can be it yourself, like, it's a log in.
This is the purchase agreement, and then so I've already got it accepted on the third at 7 o'clock. So I need your signature right there and date.
LaGrange utilities, right?
Mark,
Well,
when you get those all done, can you scan a copy of them to me tomorrow?
Yeah,
If you want, I was gonna scan all the documents that you sign and send them to you and Bill, Bill and Mark. And
That'll be
also-
perfect. That'll
and
be
also-
perfect.
And I'll send them to the title company as well.
Okay, you sending them to Lakeland?
Yes.
Okay,
And
good.
then we also have an earnest money check that Mark has right now, so that will need to go to the title company tomorrow. They'll hold it until closing.
Sounds good.
Now that we're delayed a month, we have to go to April 8th, I think is the next meeting.
Right.
For the rezoning and site plan,
yeah.
and then after that approval, then we'll close,
Okay,
okay?
that
But
works with me.
I'll give you copies of all these. I'll scan them and send them to you guys so you have everything.
Sounds good.
Everybody, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
We all done now?
We're all done now.
I will.
That's her way of saying she wants to turn it off so she can go home.
Well,
That could
you would think that, wouldn't you?
You've known me a long time.
I have.
Seem that way.
Most of those 97 years that Ray was talking about that you were clerk,
I know, 97 of them. Yeah.
97. And see, I started with the town 10 years before you, so
So you're at 107.
Thanks, sir.
I've got my century in. There you go.